With me experiencing being a transformation coach, I've discovered that people really want to be better. And a lot of times people are not shown the way, but they're thrown into the way.
Don't push me away, don't throw me away. I've got some things I need to say. Tell me, won't you hear me?
If you are a leader of any sorts, we have to meet people right there, right where they are. That's the only way we'll be able to really push for effective change. We really want to be better, and we gotta help each other get there, y'all, because the world needs to see it. What's good, family? Please listen, do me a favor. If you have not already, please like and subscribe to the podcast. That's how I grow. That's how I make this thing bigger. That's how I make this thing better. So if you are watching and you have not subscribed or liked, please do me a favor. Like and subscribe to this podcast. Ray Bridging here is just a place where the people get to hear you and the world gets to see it. Continue the episode. We're just going to continue where we started off, and I wanted to split it up, to make sure that we got everything in.
Because we got a lot to say.
Yeah, we got a lot. I know we got a lot to say, and I want to kind of do some advocacy work because it's not enough to just say, okay, I accept you, but being able to be an advocate, you know what I'm saying? And so if it's anything, if it's anything, y'all, you can speak to any actionable ways. You can speak to any parents who has queer children. And I say queer because queer covers the spectrum. So if you don't know what queer is, yeah.
I'm still learning. Terminology.
Yeah. So queer covers the spectrum, whether you're gay, bisexual, lesbian, transgender, like queer covers the spectrum, non-binary. And so instead of just being gay, no, we're queer because if it's one, it's all of us.
Yeah.
And so that's how we stand. So that's why I said queer. But if y'all had to speak to any queer mothers, mothers of they have sons and daughters that's queer, what would you offer them, if you will, in this moment to kind of speak to any actionable ways they can support beyond just saying, hey, I accept my baby, but they. Yeah.
Can I say something real quick?
Absolutely.
Just before I answer the question.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
why I kind of.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Come on.
Because I found said I forget. Before we start, I just want to, as a mother of a gay son, I just want to say thank you.
Wow.
Just for even creating the space and the platform and the opportunity for us to be able to speak fluidly and be transparent, because it's always been my desire as a part of, and I guess this will kind of flow into answering the question, but it's always been my desire to support my son and love him out loud.
Wow.
I remember when I made the Facebook post that basically said, you remember that? You know what? If I had been thinking, I would have pulled it up. I'll send it to you because I don't know if you want to add it or whatever. I remember when I made the post that basically, like, we came out of the closet, I guess, so to speak.
I remember that.
And it was so important for me because I had a girl that we used to be friends, and it got back to me through the grapevine that she told somebody, I think AJ gay, or whatever. And so I came out of the closet with my son so that I could put whatever anybody's thoughts was to rest. Yeah. And then also to say, don't fuck with me. About him or about this. Let me tell you, I'm behind it 1,000,000%, so that there's no misunderstanding.
No misunderstanding.
You don't have to have no conversations about behind our back. You don't even have to pull me to the side because it's okay. It's nothing to talk about. So I remember when I made that post, and I just made it for the transparency. But anyone who is friends with me on social media knows that I have no problem with transparency.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's because there's so many people that need to hear
what
it is that you have to say because they're not as bold as you. When I tell you my inbox went crazy, I had so many moms that were inboxing me and they were saying thank you and how do you do this and how do you accept this and da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. So I appreciate this space where I can do just that and continue with just that ideology that I wanted to be transparent about the fact that he was gay and about the fact that I support him, because there's so many people who aren't supported. There's so many people that want to support but don't know how. And then there are those who aren't even wanting to embrace what the situation to support. And so those people too need to hear what it is that we have to say. So I just applaud you and appreciate you for creating this space where we can be transparent, where we can help others while also still probably helping ourselves in the process. You know?
And station identification right now. One of the biggest pieces when not only when I served in, we served in ministry for years, in a youth ministry at a local church. Respect them down to this day. And also I started a nonprofit to help black men and now black boys. And one of the biggest fears for me at first was I didn't want anybody to think I was trying to do anything. You know, that's always a thing. Like, damn, is he trying to do something to these kids or boys? You know, but no, you know what I'm saying?
Grooming,
Right. And so much of that is associated. So even because like.
But that goes back to, not to interrupt
you.
No,
You good.
But that goes back to what we talked about. I don't know if we talked about it on camera, but it goes back to having somebody, you got to point the blame.
You're right. Oh yeah.
You gotta have somebody to blame.
Absolutely. And we have a healthy group of men on my board of helping inspire men. It's a healthy group of us who represents like every spectrum, and so that's important. But the queer men on my board, like we had to have conversations. Like they was just worried, like, right, I don't want, I just, and it's like, bruh,
because it's a stigma.
It's a stigma.
Yep.
It's just a stigma.
Yep.
So, but yeah, like it's taking a hell of a lot of bravery and courage. Even like for y'all that's watching this or you're listening, understand that I haven't even had conversations with everybody I know about this shit. And so it's like, it's a point of bravery for me. Like I've reached a point in my life to where, bro, this is who I am.
I'm proud of you.
Like, thank you.
You know how I feel. Thank you. You know how I feel.
And I'll say this, and before we get back to the conversation, I'm trying so hard now to not move in a lot of regret, a lot of resentment, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of it, like I literally feel like I have been in emotional prison for like 20 years.
Yep.
I feel like I've been in emotional prison for 20 years. And now I've gotten to 42 years old and I'm just now feeling like I could actually have a family.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
And this is something that I never even gave any thought to because I always held on to God gonna remove something from me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm
Now
just
that's the grooming.
Yes.
Let's just keep it a buck.
Yes, real talk.
That's the grooming.
Real talk.
That's the grooming.
And just like because and this conversation is going the way the creator and source wanted to go. And so many of you who are concerned and who are watching and you're wondering like, why these mamas on here doing all this talking. What are men at? What are
Inbox
people
me
at?
directly.
Yeah. Inbox her directly. And I want you to know, like, every.
Tag me when you post.
Right. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. and all of the things that you have to say, I want to ask you, have you ever offered anything other than shame and fire and brimstone to these young men and women? Like I wanted to show psychologically how we're affected through the years. Absolutely. This ain't nothing that just overnight. Like, we ain't just decided, like, you know, and I know he's probably watching, or somebody he know and we love is probably watching. But you know, one of the men we served under, love and respect him to this day, you know.
Ultimately, yes.
And we, you know, to this day, we love. He texted me the other week, just texted me randomly, but I understand we think different, and I know, and this is somebody who I love, I've supported, I've stood behind. I had to let him know, like, bruh, like, this ain't brand new. So I don't want you to feel like it's something you're gonna magically say or something you're gonna magically do because I know that's the thought, that I got to save you. I got to make you come from what you are in. And I'm like, you know, I just had to remind him, like, bro, this is not new. It's not new, so I don't want you to feel like anything you're saying.
You don't have to cape up for me.
Right, you don't have to cape up, because I've heard all of that before, and I'm telling you what it is.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Like, thank you for
absolutely.
my soul and whatnot, but no, you don't have to do that.
Absolutely.
It's okay.
And it's 2025, and if we're not moving as a people, like, if we're not moving in authenticity and honesty, y'all, we ain't doing nothing. Because if, like, that's what's needed, that's what's wanted, that's what's desired and needed. Now, if you're not your authentic self in 2025, you're missing it.
That's the whole point.
We
too old.
We're too old for it. Yes.
You
missing it, and it's so much that happens and goes on in this world today because we're exposed to so much information every single day. And so you ain't pulling no bullshit past nobody.
No.
If you, I think you said some the other week, if you are not through text, if you are not who you are in 2025, something wrong. Something wrong. And so, but we're not saying this in jest. We're not saying it like we don't understand. We know, because we live in the Bible Belt South, so we understand and know ideologies are programmed. We're set. We're in this shit. We're in this. And so for the mothers, particularly the parents or the family members, you know you got somebody in your family that's queer, that's gay, that's lesbian. Like, is there anything you can speak to them to try to become? Because you hold your convictions, but is there anything you can speak to them to just treating them more human?
Be like Christ.
Man. It's just the last 3 days of his life, not his whole life.
No. The whole thing. Because, I mean, okay, the 10 Commandments, right? 10 Commandments, great.
Yes, ma'am.
But if you follow Christ's commandment, we talked about this in the shop. Christ said, treat people the way you want to be treated. That's the only commandment that Christ gave. The only one. So guess what? If you treat people the way you want to be treated,
it's simple.
You're not going to steal from anybody.
Dear
You're not going to kill anybody.
I have said that so many
You're not
times.
going to sleep with somebody else. You're not going to demean other people. When you do that one thing, it covers the 10.
Yes, my exact words.
It covers the 10.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
All that other, my exact words, I told somebody, I said, in my honest opinion, anything beyond treat people how you want to be treated. Everything else to me at this point, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Everything else is fluff.
It's fluff. Yeah.
It's
Real
just
talk.
fluff.
It's one thing.
Because
Real
that
one
one thing,
is so simple.
it covers
but it's so difficult.
everything.
It covers everything.
Yes.
And I feel like when people harp on homosexuality, you're harping on it from a moral standpoint, but you're using religion. It's really a moral thing because it's what you don't believe in because of or XYZ or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's
you
not.
know what my answer to that is, and we talked about this in the shop.
I mean, you tell me yours, and I'm gonna tell you mine.
If you don't believe in same-sex relationships, don't have one.
Yeah.
This is my answer. When people say, "You're not born like that," God, that's an abomination. God wouldn't make you that way. My response is, so you mean to tell me that God will allow someone to be born with a birth defect? He will allow siblings, conjoined twins to be born with their bodies attached to each other and they're sharing a spleen. He'll allow someone to be born with an eyeball in the middle of their forehead, but oh no!
Keep on. No,
Listen.
you can't be gay. No, that's not God.
Listen to these women. Listen to them. Please listen to them. Yes.
He
Yes.
draws the line.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. Yes.
Come on.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something. What amazes me, y'all. What amazes me. I'm a barber. I own a black barbershop. And when all the guys in there, it is amazing. It's astonishing to me that we could be in there. It could be no disrespect, y'all.
Absolutely.
A big booty, big titty woman, and we're gonna talk about how I'm gonna get that, how I'm finna man,
I'm gonna knock her down.
bro, I'm gonna knock her down, bro, fool, bro, I'm gonna get that, bro, and everybody just going hard with what they will do and what they have and what they had and everything.
They don't, and then they don't, and they be lying.
And just let something come across the TV or somebody mention something about somebody being gay. Everybody run to their morals. They run so hard to their morals. Man, Sodom and Gomorrah, dog, bang, man. God killed. God, man, fuck that shit. One day in the shop, and you made me think about it when you said what you said earlier. This one guy, and I know how deeply ingrained, I'm doing a study right now on how racism and homophobia, how it aligns. It aligns so tough. It aligns so tough.
Yeah.
This one guy, it was a story on TV about a young lady getting raped, a child. It was a child.
Mm-hmm.
She was probably like 7 or 8. This man at the shop said, don't
piss me off, right?
I'd rather my son rape that little girl than be gay. He said that right there. He said, I'd rather him do that because I know he's doing what God said you're supposed to do than be gay.
Rape a child? That's what God wants you to do?
Sleep with a woman. And
whatever
costs.
That's a little girl.
And whatever costs. I was so upset.
That's so sickening.
That's
Why wasn't
sick.
I there?
You wasn't there. No, you wasn't there. But just to show y'all how deeply ingrained the hatred is.
Absolutely.
The disdain. And we're taught that because guess what? We're taught to hate ourselves.
Absolutely.
We're taught to not embrace who we are.
Absolutely.
And so when people say stuff like that, it's like, damn, like, bro.
That's beyond disheartening. That's sick.
It's sick. And so we have to, and for the Bible thumpers that's watching, we have to go back to the source because who taught you may not agree, but just who taught us
the oppressor
to feel this way about this?
The oppressor.
Facts.
The oppressor.
I just had this conversation. Facts. I think I'm gonna say it.
Say it. This free. This right here.
How everybody feels, and it is what it is.
We here.
I wholeheartedly feel like the Bible was written by slave masters as a way to control their slaves. I don't really, at this big age, I love God.
Yeah.
My relationship with him is top tier, chef's kiss. That book, on the other hand, I have questions.
Well,
and I have questions that nobody has ever been able to answer.
Y'all tread now. I'm here for it. Come on.
And nobody has been able to definitively answer me. And even if they do answer me and I push back, it's just a bunch of
rhetoric.
Bunch of hypocrisy also. It's like, oh, but this, over that. And then when I say, well, what about so, oh, that's the Old Testament. Oh, that's
the Old Testament ain't important, and why y'all still read it?
What are we talking about?
Right.
What are we talking about here?
Well, you've done the research on King James, right?
I have.
Because that's the one that they
that's
tell
the
you
one
to read.
that they.
So King James hated his mother. Which is where his hatred of women and them having a place anywhere. That's where that comes from. And he was also gay.
King James was. And since you giving Bible history, let me give this. The one person that in today's 2025 church we stole is Apostle Paul. Like most of the things that we learn and most things we go off of is the Apostle Paul. And so I've recently done some further research into the Apostle Paul, and I've asked preachers, like, I didn't know that his thoughts on sexuality as a whole. Do y'all not know that the Apostle Paul, his thoughts on sexuality was that if you have to have sex, he thought it would be better for you to be like celibate. But if you have to have sex, get married. And when you get married, and when you get married and have sex, only have sex when you just cannot absolutely hold it anymore. And you got to do it. So we and I know y'all upset. Listen, we take sexuality and we take so many of Paul's views. And this is somebody who this is how he thought about sexuality. You can look it up, read it, look it up, study it. But this is what Paul thought about sexuality, and we take it to heart. And it's like, but
even Paul had to change the heart.
Even Paul, and I said all that to say that it's okay to revisit. And when you unlearn things, you don't have to forget what you learned, but you have to be able to open your mind up enough to understand that it's more to it than what you thought it was.
A different perspective.
Absolutely.
Different perspective.
Absolutely.
A whole different spirit. A whole different perspective. And as a parent, what kind of advocacy y'all do? Because this shit, we just didn't went that. We went that, and I'm here for it, and I'm good for it. But how has the advocacy for the queer community changed your perspective on parenting, if anything? Because I want parents to see and hear, like, for real, the heart of what this is, who y'all are. But prior to you having a gay son, prior to you having a son that you knew was different, like, how has your perspective on that changed or shifted, if any?
I wish I had done more.
Wow.
I wish I had done more. I don't think I did a bad job, but I wish I had done more. Yeah. But I was so busy working to make sure that they were all taken care of. But I do wish that I had done more to foster, to help him see more positive role models of who he was.
Wow. Wow.
But but also the flip side to that, it wasn't a whole lot of them that wasn't a whole lot. Because many of the guys that I knew that were gay were very closeted.
Yep.
And they weren't being themselves. So I really didn't want him to be around the ones who were still hiding.
Yep.
Because I didn't feel like he had anything to hide. He didn't have anything to hide.
Wow.
Right? So I in a lot of ways I wish I had done more.
Wow.
And been more vocal and outspoken. But I was respecting the fact that, first of all, he was a child.
Yes.
And I wanted him to be able to live his own story.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I just wish I had just done more. Yeah. And especially for others. But I mean, you know this. So the TV show Pose. Have you seen that? Oh, you gotta look at Pose. You gotta look at Pose.
What's Pose
You gotta
about?
see it. It's a series about the gay community in New York.
In New York.
In the 70s.
In the 70s, late 70s,
early 80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people literally, when they found out their children were gay, like threw them out. Like, get out. You are not going to be gay and live in my house. So these kids were cast onto the streets. So what they ended up doing, there were mothers of houses. So it might be the house of Gucci or the house of whoever. They would take
Is
these
that how
kids
those families
in.
started?
Yes.
Yep.
So had I been during that time, I would have had a house full of kids. Full of kids.
Yeah.
Because it's already hard enough in this culture. And I try to remind myself that every place is not like the divided states of America. So that's why I don't often say a world thing. It's this country.
Yeah.
Other countries it's sort of, but not as dogmatic as it is here. But I would have had a house full of gay children because I couldn't imagine. So my son came out when he was 13 to me and his dad, and his father cried. He broke down. He cried, but he did not cast him aside. And I think part of that was because he was scared of me. But but I wanted him from the beginning to know how he was just as important. He was just as valid as his straight brothers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I just because a person is gay does not mean anything other than they like the same sex. It's like it's just that black and white. It's not a whole lot to it.
Really is just as simple.
It's a lot added to it when you add religion and you add the dog and all of that. All of the dogma comes from religion.
It has to be.
Yeah, it all comes from religion,
Yep.
and it's a sense of control.
Yeah.
And any kind of way that I can make you feel bad, where you respect what I say more, that's a power. So I wasn't going to yield any power to religion in that way.
Wow.
I mean, he was baptized, I think, when he was 12. But still, that's something that he wanted to do. But it wasn't, you gotta get baptized.
Oh, let me
You
baptize
gotta,
the
no.
gay out of you.
Yeah. No, that wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just wish I had done more, like taking him to more awareness situations. You know what I'm saying? Like my dream still now is that we do the Pride Parade in New York.
Ooh.
I want to do the Pride Parade in New York or the Pride in Houston, like us together.
Yeah.
On a float or something. Just wow. Like I want to do that with him.
Yeah.
And don't forget your thought. I want to hear your thought on that too, or what you have done like different. And when you said that, y'all, I got friends that's dear to me. I promise you, like I wish y'all could be a fly on the wall with some of our conversations, because I hear so many of them say, how colorful they were as little boys, and if they could just go back to that, because so much of that was dumbed down. Like I just gotta dumb myself down. I gotta dumb myself down. I gotta water myself down. I gotta make sure that, and so much of their childhood was all the color that I had, all of the feeling that I had to act like it wasn't there.
Yeah.
And to hear these conversations now, grown men, I'm talking about grown men that got companies that got, like, if I could just get the creativity that I had when I was a boy, where would I be? Would I even be in this city? Would I even be doing what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Ooh, so yeah. So what would you say, Ken? What would you like? What would you have done different, or what is it that you learned about advocacy now that you didn't have at first?
So I think honestly, for advocacy, so I've always been Mama Bear.
Yeah.
That's not new for me. My house has always been the house.
Yeah.
Primarily,
y'all cook up a storm, baby. Y'all gonna cook some food. Y'all do nothing else. Y'all Negroes gonna cook some food.
If you got children that's hungry every 2 hours, you can't go out to eat all the time. You gotta cook. Yeah.
But my house, so I have my own traumas, childhood traumas that I live with. And because of those, I was a tad bit overprotective over mine.
Okay.
I probably could have been more protective because I was a teen mom. Okay. So there was a part of me that tried to hold on to you know what I'm saying, like, oh, I want to go out and take the kids, get babysit or whatever. So there, I recognize that there are some areas that I probably could have been a little bit more, tightened up in or whatever. But because I had those traumas, I didn't really like for my kids I got to a point where I didn't like for my kids to go to someone else's house because I was like, there could be an old freaking uncle.
Baby, look, on her feet, you don't ever go nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, for
and
real.
So they were like, well, we're going to go to our friend's
over.
house. And so my thing was just tell them come over here.
Yeah.
So from the time that I guess my children started having friends, my house was the house. So everybody was always in my house. Yeah. And it's been that way, and it's still that way.
Wow.
My kids are 28, 25, and 22. And my house is still the house. This is where the kids come. So Mama Bear is not that's not a new thing for me. I've always been Mama Bear. So when it came down to advocacy in that world, it was just another extension of Mama Bear. Wow. And when I realized that there were so many who didn't have the support and didn't have the love, I just wanted to love and support them. I remember one year, LGBT, the month, is it June or July? It's June, right? Yeah. Okay. I remember one year I put on a shirt because AJ laughs because I'm like, I try not to go overboard. So I got my shirt on. And then I actually have like a rainbow Apple Watch band.
Okay.
But I was like, I'm not gonna overdo it until just a little bit. And I got my, where is it? On my Pandora bracelet. I got my pride heart charm, like Mama Bear, like for real, seriously. So I remember one year I had one of my shirts on, and it was like free mom hugs. And I went downtown with some friends because that's where they were doing like different pride celebrations in different places. You said I wore my shirt, and I was just hugging people and hugging and loving on people, and it just made me feel good because there are so many who just need it.
They need it.
And sometimes they don't even know or realize that they need it because they've just kind of become conditioned to life. You know what I mean? And it's like they don't even realize what they're missing, what they're longing for, what they need until they get that good hug. Right. And it's like, oh. And so if I have that opportunity to give someone that moment, even if it's just for a brief second, then I've done my job. Yeah. So advocacy in the terms of that, like that perspective, like that's easy for me because again, Mama Bear, I've been Mama Bear for a long time. It's just another extension of it.
I'm sorry, this is so rich to me. I'm sorry, I just had a moment.
Don't apologize.
This conversation is so rich to me because the love that you are willing to give, the love that you have, like, man, like when I tell y'all the men and women that's gonna watch this episode, was going to see it and to see and long, like, if I just had parents. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I gotta say this. I gotta say this because I love my mama to life. Like, I would do anything for my mama. Like, there's nothing anybody can say about my mama. And I know how she was taught. I know how she was raised. I respect that. I respect her. And I know that, I ain't gonna lie, you know, this is total transparency. I ain't even mean to go, I ain't think I'm gonna go here on this episode at all or ever go here, but there's a hole in my heart for organized religion because I know that's who taught her.
Yeah.
That's who taught her to feel the way she feel, and I know the generation she come from. I know the space she come from, and I know it's parts of my life that, because I've always presented perfect kid, perfect young man. So my mom was the successful young man to my mama, the young man who I don't get in trouble. God, I didn't know I was gonna say all this. Back when I was maybe 10 years ago, Ken, when I first took edibles, I had a whole situation, and I called this woman right here, and I said, "Trent, I'm having a heart attack. Trent, I'm having a heart attack." 3:30 in the morning. I said 3. And so they called my whole family, and so that was the first time in my life that my mama ever had to come in to the hospital and say anything about anything I've ever done. That was the first.
Okay.
So I'll tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
We were sitting in the waiting room, me and your mom, and Mr. James, and she was saying then, "See, that's why he gotta stop this, and he gotta get his life together." Not out of disrespect, but out of fairness. I said, "Miss Perline, that ain't it. That ain't it.
Yeah.
That ain't it. I want you to know that without even thinking about it, I stood up for not just you, but for every single, specifically, young man. You being gay didn't have nothing to do with it.
No.
But again, that's because people have to find a place.
Yeah.
Something to blame for this reaction.
Yes.
And I said, that ain't it.
But can I tell you something? And it literally just dropped in my spirit as you were talking. So you said that you have a hole in your heart for organized religion because that is how your mother was taught, right? I challenge you.
Okay.
The same grace that you are extending your mother.
Notice.
And I don't know where that came from.
Wow.
But as you were saying it would literally just literally downloaded.
Wow.
The same grace that you are extending her for the way that she was taught. I want you to tap into that same grace and extend that to organized religion because we just said we're organized. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's all still taught. It's all still learned.
Man, look. Wow.
And this is coming from a person who literally just not even a week ago just told somebody that I'm in a weird spot when it comes to organized religion. For those same reasons, because you're not about to tell me that I'm supposed to admonish my son, that I'm supposed to feel negatively about my son or whatever. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But literally, right then as you were speaking, that was my first thought.
Wow.
That same grace.
Wow. Man. And I feel you on that, and I understand exactly where you're coming from, and to be able to grasp all of the resentment, you know, and all of the trauma, because I look at trauma like from a man or a woman from God's source. You just want us to have this kind of conversation right here, right now, but from my perspective, it's like if y'all like take a block of ice, like without water on, just a hard, solid ass, cold ass block of ice. That's how a lot of us operate. A hard piece of ice. Yeah. And like physically, we need to unthaw. Because we're like hard ass, like ready to pop off, ready to respond, ready to attack, because you built up this wall around you. The wall is, you realize is really unnecessary, but you build up this wall of protection that you've built to protect you against the system, you know, because you know that people hate you. And like, I just, listen, what messed me up, I was talking to like a group of guys, and for me to, because I just see myself, like I don't let nobody talk down about gay men, but they said around me, you're privileged. You are masculine presenting, like that's just like you don't have to like code switch. You don't have, because this is just how you present. And so I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And like, and so I had that put it in perspective for me, because I know that, man, this ain't no act. This is who I am, you know, and I don't have to code switch, but for the young men who, I read a book about a few months ago, and the guy said he liked to write. He's a writer, of course, and he said in the book that his grandma gave him a little purse, and all his letters he wrote, he would just writing all the time. His grandma gave him a little purse, and he asked him, "Why did you give me a purse?" And grandma said, "Because I know this is the only place you'll ever be able to hold your words."
Wow.
that messed me up. She knew that, okay, the world was, and he's probably like 70 now, but this was back in the day, and she knew that nobody gonna be able to accept her grandson. The world wasn't gonna be able to take her grandson, so she gave him a purse to keep his letters in.
Wow.
So no, but y'all, this man, y'all messed me up. Want y'all to know that with this episode, and I just want y'all to know that these women are ready. Listen, say, I want you to write your comments on whatever you're gonna write it on, but I promise you, like, this is lived experience, and I think that the issue is, and I'm not gonna preach, but the issue is, so you can throw scripture, you can throw morals, you can throw personal preference, but if it don't line up with lived experience, if it cannot resonate with lived experience, you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
You and even go it, not even just this, but this is why I did the podcast, because I want our people to understand that if it's something that you don't necessarily agree with or you don't know much about, like to shut down to it, you know, even, you know, you recently, you just lost a dad, you lost a mom, you know what I'm saying? Even conversations on grief, you know what I'm saying? People don't like, though that's a conversation people don't even give thought to, because we don't know how to manage that. We just know when it come up, we just want to, you know, but that's a lot.
Power through it.
That
But you know the reason why. It's a direct result of slavery. Showing emotion, whether it's grief, whether it's joy, whether it's hurt, whether it's pain, whether it's bliss, we're not allowed to do that. I have a baby in the slave house, and I'm happy. Oh my God, I got this beautiful baby. But I can't be happy in front of Massa because he's going to take my baby.
Yeah.
Wow.
He don't want me to be happy. He wants me to be submissive.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have to not show that I love this baby. Because if Missy Ann, who may not be able to have any babies, sees that I've had this baby and I'm joyous and I'm so happy I got this baby, she gonna tell him, sell that nigga's baby.
Yep.
Because she
Wow.
happy. So I can't show any happiness.
Wow.
If
Good point.
if he sells you, my husband, I can't show any emotion about that. Right? Because if I show emotion, that's weakness. And I tell you this all the time in the shop. Slavery wasn't a long time ago.
No.
Wasn't a long. It occurred for a long time, but
it wasn't that long ago.
it wasn't that long ago. So we're still dealing with the residual effects of slavery right now.
Right now.
We can't cry. We can't. My mother lost her mother in 2010. She took off 2 years from work to take care of her mother till my grandmother passed away. I never saw my mother cry. It was
Really?
power.
Really?
Never saw. No.
Yeah.
Because why do I cry? I don't need to cry. I know my mother's gone to be with the Lord.
Yeah.
I never saw my mom cry.
Damn.
No. There was no emotion in that. When my mom cried, what I do? When my mom died, what I do? Cried.
Yeah.
Let
My
it
mama
roll
gone.
down in the floor.
Yeah.
My mama gone. But now, in the beginning, when she first passed away, because I am just hard set, and he'll tell you this. It was a little boy that used to come and clean up the shop, got hit by a car. Let me tell you about this. He's going across the street to get, I don't know who he was going to get something to eat for, but he got hit by a car.
Oh, bless it.
So one of the other barbers was outside. All we heard was shit.
Yeah.
And so we all stopped to go, what's going on? Well, we see the cars have stopped.
Woo, that was odd. That was an odd
The
day.
cars have stopped in the street. So, Park Avenue is busy. It's a Saturday. Cars have stopped. So he opens the door. Man, he didn't got hit by a car. So Raymond's like, oh my God. There's another young lady working in the shop. She says, oh shit. Oh, what? What does Katrina do? Call 911. I say, call 911. I told her, call 911. I told him, call his mom. I'm going out in the street.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
He said, I don't want to.
You saying that?
Right.
I don't want to.
So, she had 2 eyes. Okay.
I go out in the street,
God.
in front of this white lady who stopped behind because the van that hit him kept going. Wait. Van keeps going. Black guy right here. He's saying, ma'am, I'm gonna go. I said, go see if you can catch the van. White lady standing right here. Oh my God, what? I said, do you have any paper? All while I'm sitting in the street with this young man's head in my lap, telling him it's cool, you're gonna be all right. I'm knocking glass out of his face. It's okay. No, I don't want you to move. Be still. I got you. It's gonna be all right. But I need to get. Don't worry about it. This is how I am. Calm. Tell the white lady, you got some paper. Go sit in the shop and write down everything you remember. I'm still telling him, did you call his mama? I can't. I said, you have to.
That can't call that
The
woman.
other young lady, I said, did you call 911? Yeah. Go call. Please, y'all.
Yeah.
It's full disarray. Who to call? Me. Get 911 comes. So what he did, he called. I think then you call Polly. Polly called his grandmama. So the grandmama shows up. By the time she gets there, the ambulance is there. He's underage, so I can't go with him.
Yeah.
But family, somebody.
Yeah.
Grandmother gets there. She goes on with him or whatever. Everything calms down. When I fell apart? When I got home that evening in the shower.
That's it.
Went to full pieces.
That's it.
But Everything was in order.
Yeah.
At that moment.
Yeah.
Go do this, you go do that, whatever. Bam, sir, thank you. Guy comes back, hey, I saw the van and they took the tag off and whatever. The white lady sitting there, I said, baby, it's okay. It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I done hugged her. Thank you, give me this paper, baby, so
Please
we
give
can
me
get
this
this to this police. Thank you.
Yeah.
So much. You're so calm. Yes, don't worry about it.
Yep.
Are you gonna be able to drive home? Yeah, I'm gonna be okay, good. Go home.
Mm-hmm.
Go lay down. It's gonna be okay.
Yep.
He still, I said, calm.
That was Southern Heritage Classic weekend. I ain't even go out that weekend. Like, I went home.
That was it.
That was it. I ain't going out. It was Southern Heritage Classic Day.
So when my mother passed away, all the things were going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy will tell you, Eric Dunn will tell you. I called him, I said, hey, my mama died. Go to the hospital and get her.
Mm-hmm.
It was early on a Sunday morning. My mom died. Go get her.
Yeah.
He said, okay. Right now? Yes.
Yes. I know.
That Monday, I said, well, that day, I said, come over tomorrow. We're going to go through the details, all the things. We can get this done. He was like, yeah, sis, you all right? Yeah. Because it was a job that had to be done.
Had to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once the job is done, that's when, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I said that to say, that's just, I'm hardwired that way.
Yeah.
We are hardwired that way.
We are.
To not show emotion. Who actually says, yo, bro, how you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So do that with your child.
Yeah.
Be present for your child.
Yes.
How are you?
Yes.
How are you? How are you feeling? What are you thinking about? What do you want to do with yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Because just because they're queer doesn't mean anything other than they're queer.
Mm-hmm.
They still have dreams, aspirations, hopes, needs.
Mm-hmm.
So be there and be available for what that is for them.
And I think to round the episode out, one of my biggest pieces of work today and one of my biggest pieces of purpose is to show, and I don't even like to get into the religious factor of it. I don't like to get into that.
Yeah.
Because I know people feel how they feel, but just how you treat people.
Yes.
And just how you treat, you can feel the way you feel, but just imagine.
You can still be kind.
You can still be kind. You can still give that young man, that young woman, the things, the tools that they need to grow up in this hard, cruel world. Because if you leave me with my own personal judgment, if you leave me with secrecy, if you leave me with silence, I'm in the wilderness.
You're gonna seek out attention and acceptance from the wrong sources.
Yeah. This I didn't plan on part 2 going like this, but it went this way. But I wanted to give both of you the last word before we cut the episode off. Give the last word. This is a powerful episode, and I know it's gonna be a lot of response, and I think it's needed and it's good. But if y'all could give the last word to another mother right now who she see her son, she see her daughter, and she don't know what the fuck am I gonna do. Give a word. If you can, give a word to mama. Give a word to mama, to grandmama, to daddy, to granddaddy who raising this boy, this girl, and they see. I done put this Negro in football. I done put him in basketball. I done gave her some dolls, and she ain't playing with them dolls. She want to play with trucks, with Hot Wheels. What? Give a last. I let y'all have the last word to the mothers and the parentals, if you will, guardians who see it.
My best advice is really simple. You don't have to understand why something is the way that it is, so long as you understand how that thing makes someone feel.
Wow.
So you don't have to understand why they're gay, how they're gay. What happened to them. You don't have to understand the gay part. Understand how them not feeling included makes them feel.
Wow.
If you understand how they feel,
wow,
or the negative impact of being shunned, how that makes them feel, that's really all you need to understand. You don't, the other part is not meant for you to understand because you're not gay. You see what I mean? So you're not going to understand how they're attracted to another woman or how they're attracted to another man because you're not attracted to other women or other, you know what I mean? You're not attracted to the same sex. Right. So you're not going to understand why they're attracted to the same sex. But you can understand how it feels to be excluded, to be purposely
invalidated.
If you can understand that part, the rest of it, it should be easy from there. Like, I think a lot of parents lose sight of the actual, what should be the focus.
Mm-hmm.
And the focus should be your child's happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever that looks like,
mm-hmm.
as long as you understand what their happiness looks like, the rest of you don't really have to even work. I mean, it'll come.
Wow.
It'll come.
That you just preached the whole sermon, for real. Like real talk. We lose sight. Parents lose sight. Like, I'm so trying to get it out, but how are they feeling?
How do they feel?
Wow.
How does not being accepted, not feeling loved, how does that,
not feeling safe.
Not feeling safe. How do you think your child feels in living in a home that's supposed to be their safe space,
mm-hmm.
that's supposed to be their place of refuge,
mm-hmm.
and it's not that?
Wow.
How do you think that feels? If you can understand how that feels, that's all that matters, and then everything else you can start to tweak it.
Wow.
So that you can, everything else will just fall in line.
Wow.
1,000%.
These were the word.
Same thing. Take your personal view out of
mm-hmm.
the perspective,
mm-hmm.
and simply be human and be present for them.
But I don't raise no punks though. I don't raise no punks.
Okay, nobody raises punks.
That ain't.
Nobody raises punks. We all raise tiny humans who are going to be adults.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what kind of tiny human they turn into as adults, that's all on us. Mm-hmm. Gay or straight.
Yeah.
Gay or straight. Give them safety. Give them support, because you're not going to understand.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to understand.
Mm-mm.
I will never understand what it is to be a white woman.
Exactly.
Never going to happen.
Exactly.
I know what it is to be a woman,
mm-hmm.
but a white woman or an Asian woman, I ain't gonna never get it. So no, as long as they try to help me understand it, I never will, because it's not my experience. But my experience as a human being, I got that.
Yeah.
So be present and be human.
Yeah.
For your child.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember I was in
present.
a relationship. I was trying to get an ex, my ex at the time. I was trying to get him to understand, because men are from Mars and women are from Venus, right? Yeah. So he was like, I don't understand. He just couldn't understand why I felt the way I felt about a particular topic. And I asked him, I said, well, do you understand that I'm sad? He was like, well, yeah. I said, well, that's it. Mm-hmm. Wow. If I'm telling you that this particular topic makes me sad, that's all you have to understand.
Right.
You don't have to understand the foundation or the rule or the logistics of my sadness. Yeah. Do you know that I'm sad?
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
And does it matter to you?
Surface level. Do you understand she's sad?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What the fuck are we talking about?
But that's empathy. But both of you that's empathy. Like, listen to what I'm saying.
And
can't believe it. don't say, well, no,
Don't try to dissect it.
Don't try to dissect it.
Don't try to dissect it.
I love that. Yeah, thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to post this episode. I'm excited to put this out there. It's a leap for me. I just want y'all to know.
We're proud of you.
Thank you.
For the leap.
Thank you. It's a leap. It's a fucking leap. It's a leap for me, but I know that this is what I was made to do. This is what I was destined to do. If you all have not liked or subscribed, please like and subscribe to the podcast. This is Ray Bridget Humans. This is just one topic amongst many topics that I will cover this season to show people, man, look, all the stuff and all the things that we don't want to talk about, that we're scared to talk about. We're gonna hit on Ray Bridget Humans. And this is Ray Bridget Humans, the place where the people get to hear you and the world get to see it. Thank you for another episode. Love y'all. Love y'all.
Thank you for having me.
Peace. We out.